Have you ever wondered how the American Revolutionary War contributed to the autonomy and political integration of the United States? Our journey begins in the heart of Lexington and Concord, April 1775. British troops, under the veil of early morning, attempted to seize ammunition and capture the leaders of the burgeoning rebellion. Little did they know, this act would mark the birth of a revolution that would forever alter the course of world history. This was the spark that ignited the flame of revolution. But what brought us to this point? Why did the American residents feel the need to take up arms? The answer lies in the very essence of human nature, the desire for freedom. The American colonists were weary of the economic and political constraints imposed by the British Crown. High taxes, without representation, restrictions on trade, and the imposition of British law were all catalysts to the Revolutionary War. The colonists craved self-governance, the ability to make their own laws, decide their own taxes, and control their own trade. They wanted to be masters of their own fate, to be free from the yoke of British rule. The American Revolutionary War was not just a fight for independence, but a struggle to establish a nation where the people were the sovereign power. The British attempts to seize ammunition and capture rebel leaders at Concord and Lexington in April 1775 ignited the fuse of this revolution. Driven by the desire for autonomy, Americans stood up against the British rule. Behind every great revolution, there are great leaders. In the throes of the American Revolutionary War, this sentiment couldn't be truer. The struggle for independence was fueled by the audacity, wisdom, and resilience of a few key figures. Their names echo through the corridors of time: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and so many others. These men were not just leaders, they were visionaries who saw beyond the confines of the present. Washington, the steadfast general, led his troops through the grueling winters of war, never wavering in his belief in the cause. Jefferson, the eloquent statesman, penned the Declaration of Independence, etching America's desire for freedom into the annals of history. Franklin, the diplomatic genius, secured crucial French support that tipped the scales in America's favor. Their roles varied, but their mission was the same: to establish a nation free from British rule. These leaders were the beacon of hope for a nation striving for independence. As the war raged on, it was no longer confined to a few colonies. The flames of conflict spread like wildfire, from the rocky coastlines of New England to the fertile fields of Virginia, from the bustling ports of New York to the wild frontier of the Carolinas. It was a war fought not just on battlefields but in the hearts and minds of every colonist, every rebel, every loyalist. This was not a localized skirmish but a nationwide war that touched every corner of the 13 colonies. And as the war spread, so too did a sense of unity. The colonies, once disparate entities with their own individual interests, found a common cause in the fight for independence. This shared struggle fostered a newfound camaraderie, a sense of shared destiny that transcended geographical boundaries and regional differences. The war served as a crucible, forging the disparate colonies into a unified entity. So, what was the aftermath of this great revolution? The American Revolutionary War was not just a battle, it was a transformative event that shaped a nation. The war's end in 1783 saw 13 colonies morph into a unified, independent entity, the United States of America. This unity was born out of a shared quest for self-governance, a thirst for autonomy, and a collective defiance against external control. Thus, the American Revolutionary War was not just a struggle for independence but a catalyst for political unity.